Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to discuss about another very important topic or property of CSS, that is background origin. So in this session, we will discuss what is background origin, how we can use the background origin property, what all possible values are there that we can use along with background origin property. But before we proceed further, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow them sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic. Because for time being, we are just mainly focusing on the particular property from a CSS. But prior to that, you should know about other basic stuff like how to write the basic CSS, how to write internal, inline or external CSS, right? So if you know about these things, then things would be much more easier. Additionally, apart from this thing, like we will also discuss the difference between background clip and background origin, because usually people get confused between these two property because their value are similar, but they are for different purpose. Okay, so we will also discuss the difference between these two property. Okay, so let's talk about the code. Here you can see the code is very simple and straightforward. We have just noted down one title in the head section, and there is one heading which is CSS Cascading Style Sheets by Sharmit. Now what next? I'll show you the output of this code. It is coming like this: CSS Cascading Style Sheets by Sharmit. After this, we will put another heading. So I'll use H2 here. And here I will put the topic name, which is background origin property in CSS. So this is our title. Clear? Background origin property in CSS. Now what next? After this, we will create one div here, because for the demo purpose we would need a div. So let's add the div here. So here I'll simply add the div with ID. So we will specify the ID here, and ID would be box. Now you can save it, refresh it. You will not see any changes here because we have just added the div. We have not applied any CSS property. So to apply the CSS property, we will apply it through internal CSS method. So here I'll write style. Okay, and remember one thing, this ID is case sensitive. If you are writing here something with capital B, so make sure you are using it here also in a capital B, otherwise it won't work. Okay, fine. Now after this style, we will use here selector, which is the ID itself. So to use ID, we will use hash symbol, and there we will apply the box, then curly braces. In curly braces, we will apply width, which is 800 pixels. Then we'll set height 600 pixels. Then we will apply the border. It would be 20 pixels dotted black. Why am I using dotted black? Because I want to show you the impact behind the border as well. Okay, so I think if you have covered the session where we discussed about the background clip, that time also we use the same border. So if we save it and refresh it, it is coming like this. And we have opted this just because I want to show you like how image is looking behind the border. Clear? Fine. Let's apply the padding as well, because padding is needed for this demo. So I'll apply the padding here of 20 pixel. Perfect. Now one more very important thing. If you try to apply this background origin with background color, it won't work. Let me show you how. So let's say if you are trying to use red color and it is working perfect here. Okay, but when you try to apply the background origin with this, it won't work. Let me show you. If you select the background origin, and with origin, if you select any of the value, padding box, content box, you can see in padding box it is not working. Similarly, if you try with the border box, it won't work. Why? Because this won't work with the color. For that background we checked. Now let's check the padding as well. Not working. Similarly for content, it won't work. Okay, so it won't work in this scenario as well. So this is one very important thing that everyone should remember, that yes, to apply this background origin, we must use this background image. And that's very simple. You just need to write here background image. We have already covered this property in a separate session, so we are just using it. In URL, like we are supposed to provide the path of the complete picture, but here my image is in the same folder. That's why I'm not using the path. I'm directly specifying the name of the image, which is tiger.webp. Then you can simply save it and refresh it. So once you refresh it, you will see that image is coming here, but it is in repetitive mode. Why? Because we have not set the background repeat. So let's go here, use the background repeat property, and here you can write no repeat. Let's save it and refresh it. So this is how it looks. Okay, so let's verify all three possible values, which is border box, content box, and origin box. So firstly, we will write here border box, save it. So now you can see the image is starting from the border area. Okay, so what is the definition, the exact definition for background origin? So if someone asks you what is the exact definition, so you can simply say the property, the background origin property defines where the background starts its origin. It determines the reference point for positioning the background. Okay, so basically it controls from where the image should start. Okay, now we have three possible values. The first one is border box, where the background starts from the border area. So you can see here the image is started from the border area itself. Then we have padding box, where the image will start from the padding area. Then third one is the content box, where the image will start from the content area. So definition is clear, I think. Now we will apply these three values. So firstly, we are applying border box. In border box, image is started from the border area. Similarly, if you make it as padding box, image will start from the padding area. You can see the difference, right? Don't look here, because we just want to see from where it is started actually. So this is the starting point. Okay, so here you can see the image is started from the padding area. Similarly, if you apply here content box, you will see that image is now started from the content area. So this is the three possible values that we are supposed to use with background origin, and by using these values you can easily define or decide from where you want to start your image or picture. Clear? Fine. Now, as I mentioned, like people might get confused between the border, between the background clip and background origin, because they look similar. Their values are all similar, right? They are similar, like content, same values are there, border box, content box, and padding box. But the difference is that in case of clip, it will just tell where the image will end, or you can say where the image will get cut off. So in simple terms, if someone asks you what is the difference between background origin and background clip, so you can see, you can say background origin controls where the background start its positioning, and background clip controls where the background ends its visibility. Okay, so this is the only difference between these two important property of CSS. Now, as we have already discussed all these properties and its values, so it's time for you to verify the differences by applying these two properties together. So what I would suggest you to do for practice purpose, you can take it as an assignment, create one div here. Okay, on that div apply background origin, and create another div maybe after this or along with this, where you can apply the background origin, and then try all three values together just to see the difference. It will give you more clarity. Okay, so this is the best way to learn about any concept, because if something is similar, it would be your interview question for sure. So for do the best practice, you can create an example where you are utilizing both of the property, and one by one just put the values, see the difference, note down the differences, and then at the end you will summarize that yes, whatever we are discussing here, that background origin controls where the image start, and background clip controls where the image will end or cut off. Okay, So yeah, that's all for today, and here we will just discuss what is the background origin and the difference between background origin and background clip. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.